In this video, I will cover the British TV series A Discovery of Witches, which is adapted from the book series All Souls Trilogy and named after the first book in that trilogy. The first thing that I want to mention is that this British TV series, at the end of the credits, says that it was, quote, produced with support of the Welsh government. It says it right down here where you see that Welsh dragon, produced with the support of the Welsh government. And I'm going to bring that up several times in this video because I want to make sure nobody misses the significance of that. The production company is Bad Wolf Productions, based in Wales, affiliated with the BBC, Netflix, HBO, etc. They all work together. Okay, the All Souls Trilogy that the TV show was adapted from was from this book written by Deborah Harkness, who studied abroad at Oxford University. I discuss Oxford frequently as being a breeding ground for the occult, and I talk about that a lot on this channel. It says that Harkness is a well-regarded historian of science and medicine, as well as having taught courses about the history of magic and science. So in these vampire stories and witch stories, they increasingly make an effort to humanize vampires and even portray them as protagonists, which is also definitely the case in this series, which is about witches, vampires, and demons. They definitely project the theme of the prejudice of humans towards these witches, vampires, and demons throughout this story. Based on my prior research, the plot of vampire movies depicts vampire characters as historical bloodline families and or those who work alongside them, especially the British nobility. I've made many videos about this. See my playlist titled Bloodliners Depicted as Vampires in Movies. This series does exactly this. It depicts vampires and witch characters as historical bloodline families and or those who worked alongside them, especially the British nobility. And this series is the most deliberate, prolific example of this, of anything that I've come across in my research so far. I was blown away because in this series they are basically spelling it out with historical references and characters, produced with support of the Welsh government. It says the show traverses multiple continents, infuses every setting with magic, the majority of which are brought to life at a studio in Cardiff, Wales, and various locations around the Welsh countryside. The main character in the series is Diana, the witch, and she is definitely a reference to the goddess Diana because she is shown shooting an arrow of fire into another vampire who is challenging her for her boyfriend, Matthew, the head vampire played by Matthew Goode, who I covered in yesterday's video, Abigail. I'm not going to go through all the actors and actresses, but I'm sure they have interesting histories. Diana the witch in the story is a historian at Yale University, studying alchemy and science at the University of Oxford. So instead, I'm just going to go through the themes and historical characters portrayed in the series because it seems their discovery of witches matches my very own discovery and reveals the same historical characters that I have been covering on this channel for over a year since I started it. Why they are doing this in such a deliberate manner is a question that I do have, and I wonder if it is about externalization of the hierarchy. So the themes of this series, which is produced with the support of the Welsh government, include Oxford. So the entire plot centers around the witch Diana, who discovers a bewitched manuscript in Oxford's Bodleian Library, and that discovery forces her back into the world of magic, helped by a biochemist and vampire, her boyfriend Matthew Claremont. Another theme is time travel. After they discover the book at Oxford, the couple time travel back to the 1500s in London during the reign of Queen Elizabeth, and the characters they interact with there are the ones that I've covered frequently on this channel, and they are actual historical characters, and I'll go over some of those now. Elizabeth I is the first one, who is the fairy queen. Here they show her. I've covered her over and over on this channel before, and here they have her depicted wearing the fairy-type wings, like the portrait paintings that we see historically of Elizabeth I. They also have her portrait with the snake and eyeballs on her dress, snake in the apple. I've covered that before in prior videos. And this is Queen Elizabeth in that show. The next one is John Dee, English mathematician, astronomer, teacher, astrologer, occultist, and alchemist, court astronomer, and advisor to Elizabeth I. He had one of the largest libraries in England at that time. He was a political advisor, and he advocated the foundation of English colonies in the New World to form a British Empire, a term that he is credited with coining. The next one is Kit Marlowe. He's Matthew's friend who's in love with Matthew in the story. Kit Marlowe is the most famous English playwright and poet in the Elizabethan era. Some believe that he greatly influenced William Shakespeare. He was one of the vampires in The Only Lovers Left Alive vampire movie, where they suggest in that movie that he actually was Shakespeare. His character is a demon in this story. The next one is Sir Walter Raleigh, English statesman, soldier, writer, explorer. One of the most notable figures in the Elizabethan era, played a leading part in the English colonization of North America. Suppressed rebellion in Ireland, helped defend England against the Spanish Armada, and held political positions under Elizabeth I. The next one is Rudolph II, from the House of Habsburg. He was Holy Roman Emperor, King of Hungary, Croatia, Bohemia, and Archduke of Austria in the 1500s. He's the one that had himself painted as some god. I can't remember which one, but I've covered it before. This is the painting right here on the right. The next one is Rabbi Loew. He was a Talmudic scholar, Jewish mystic, mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher who for most of his life served as a leading rabbi in Moravia, Prague, and Bohemia. Loew wrote on Jewish philosophy and Jewish mysticism. He reportedly created the Golem of Prague, and he provides the witch and vampire characters with letters from Jerusalem in the story. Other themes of this series, which is produced with the support of the Welsh government, are, there's a rabbi again, and there's Rudolph II. But the other themes are Knights and Orders, which I also cover a lot on this channel. See my playlist titled Knights of the Crown. There's a vampire character, Philippe, and he's the founder of the Order of the Knights of Lazarus and the patriarch of the vampire family, residing and ruling in France. Philippe's alias is Alcides Leontothmus, which was Hercules' birth name. Born in Greece in 1286 BC, he's the oldest vampire, founder of the Knights of Lazarus. He is the husband of one of the Claremonts and the father of Hugh, Baldwin, Godfrey, Freya, Varin, and the stepfather of Matthew, the main vampire in the story. So there's interesting names wedged in there. They're famous Crusader names, such as Godfrey, a reference to Godfrey de Bouillon, Hugh, a reference to Hugh de Payens, co-founder of the Knights Templar, and Baldwin, king of Jerusalem, who ruled the Crusader state. Many of the panoramic aerial shots depict what I assume is Old London, the old St. Paul's Cathedral in London from the time period which they took the pains to reconstruct that model for the fake aerial shots. Also, many of the rituals take place in what looks like an old Shakespearean theater. It also features peregrine falcons and, of course, alchemy. And it features Diana's familiar spirit, and it's a fire dragon. And it goes in and out of her, and I think it implies in this show that she's pregnant with it. See, this is her little dragon baby familiar spirit they show all in the series at the beginning of it. And there was a famous Princess Diana. Her son William's code name in the Royal Navy is Dragon. Thanks for listening.